17 years old. That's how old Gwan-sun was when she died in a Japanese prison, tortured beyond recognition. But in those 17 years, she sparked a revolution, led thousands in protest, and became immortal. They called her Korea's Joan of Arc. The Japanese tried to erase her from history. Instead, she became a legend that burns brighter every year. And this is her story. March 1st, 1919. Korea had been under brutal Japanese occupation for 9 years. The Japanese banned Korean language, forced Koreans to adopt Japanese names, and systematically destroyed Korean culture. Then on that spring day, Korean leaders issued a Declaration of Independence. At 2 p.m. in Seoul, thousands gathered in Pagoda Park, waving forbidden Korean flags, shouting, "Manse! Long live Korea!" Gwan-sun, a 16-year-old student, rushed into the streets with her classmates. For a few glorious hours, Seoul belonged to Koreans again. Then soldiers opened fire. Hundreds died. But the revolution had begun. When Japanese authorities shut down schools, Gwan-sun returned to her hometown of Cheonan. But instead of hiding, she organized. This teenager traveled secretly between villages, recruiting farmers, students, and merchants for a massive demonstration. She planned it for April 1st at Oni Marketplace, when thousands would naturally gather. Brilliant strategy, hide revolution inside ordinary life. She and others secretly made hundreds of Korean flags, spreading word through whispers and codes. April 1st, 1919. 3,000 Koreans packed Oni Marketplace. At the signal, they pulled out hidden flags. The air exploded with cries of "Manse!" Gwan-sun stood on a platform leading the crowd, her voice ringing over thousands. Then Japanese soldiers arrived, not to disperse but to destroy. They opened fire, they charged with swords and clubs, and they made an example of the teenage girl leading the protest. They beat her father to death. They beat her mother to death, right in front of her. They thought it would break her. They were wrong. Sodemun prison became Gwan-sun's hell. Japanese interrogators wanted names, networks, plans. She gave them nothing, only one word: "Manse." So they tortured her. Bamboo under fingernails, beatings that broke bones, waterboarding, electric shocks, starvation, 18 months of systematic destruction. Every single day they tried to break her. Every single day she resisted. What kind of strength does that take? To wake up knowing more torture is coming and still refuse to surrender? Inside prison, Gwan-sun became a leader even in chains. She taught other prisoners resistance songs and organized demonstrations behind bars. On March 1st, 1920, the one-year anniversary of the independence movement, she led prisoners in shouting "Manse!" so loud it echoed outside the prison walls. Guards rushed in with clubs and whips. The beating was so severe, Gwan-sun's organs began to fail. On September 28, 1920, she died, 17 years old, tortured to death, but unbroken. The Japanese thought killing her would end her influence. Instead, it made her eternal. News of her death spread like wildfire through Korea. This girl who'd watched her parents murdered, who'd been tortured for 18 months, who'd never once betrayed the cause. She became a legend overnight. Parents told children about Gwan-sun. Teachers whispered her story. Her name became a rallying cry. If she could be that brave, what excuse did anyone else have? The March 1st movement didn't immediately free Korea. That took until 1945. But it changed everything. 2 million Koreans participated in over 1,500 demonstrations. The Japanese killed thousands, but they couldn't kill the idea of independence. The movement caught international attention and led to the Korean Provisional Government in exile. And at its heart was a 17-year-old girl who'd shown that courage doesn't require power, just an unbreakable will. Today, Gwan-sun lives everywhere in Korea. March 1st is a national holiday. Schools have her statues. Her face appears on stamps and murals. Seodaemun prison, where she died, is now a museum, her cell preserved exactly as it was. Every year, thousands visit to remember what she endured. For modern Koreans, especially young women, she represents the best of what it means to be Korean. Brave against tyranny, unbreakable in spirit, willing to sacrifice everything for what's right. What would Gwan-sun think of Korea today? She died in a colony. She'd be amazed to see free, democratic South Korea as a global powerhouse. K-pop, film, technology conquering the world. The culture Japan tried to erase has thrived beyond imagination. But she'd also see unfinished work. Korea divided, inequality persisting, corruption remaining. And knowing her, she wouldn't rest. Her message would be the same cry she shouted facing torture and death. Mance, keep fighting, keep believing. Freedom isn't won once. Every generation must fight for it. Gwan-sun showed us how.